Hey there guys, and welcome back to Alex Invests. For those of you who don't know, I'm Alex. I'm a business owner with a degree in economics, and today the markets are a little bit mixed, so I went with a yellow. But a stock that is doing well again today is Very Good Food Company, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. I did a video on them last week where I mentioned that there might be a big drop coming soon in the company, which we did end up seeing this week. You know, we saw Monday and going into Tuesday as well, especially Tuesday, we saw a big drop in this company, and I said we would see it come down to around the $7 mark because fundamentally the company was just so overvalued. So now that we've seen this drop, I'll tell you guys what I'm gonna do and what I think is going to come moving forward here, as well as some new announcements that just came out. But before we get into it, guys, please like and subscribe. You know, it really does help out the channel, and I don't have too much time on my hands right now, and I'm really pushing to get these videos out for you guys. You know, still have my business to manage and a lot of other things going on right now. So by just subscribing, you know, showing me some love, it really does help out, and I really hope to grow this thing for you guys and to just make all of us some money. All right, now back to Very Good Foods here. What's very interesting to note is when this drop happened in the company, right? We saw it start on the 14th of December, and really on the 15th, that's when we hit the lows of the drop. And then today, as well as slightly a little bit of yesterday, we did see that recovery. But what's interesting about that is on December 10th, Very Good Food Company actually announced that they had record sales in November. Monthly sales in November 2020 increased to $782,000. That represents an increase of 582% over November 2019, only a year ago. And they say that this is due to their e-commerce business and the increase they saw there, as well as Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday and Black Friday deals. So now what's wild is that this was announced before the big drop in Very Good Foods. Now you would expect news like this to have a positive effect on the stock price, but indeed, I guess it was not enough for investor expectations, and we did see that drop. And that just shows you how fundamentally overvalued this company was at the $10 mark here. But of course, with this news, I do see the stock price continuing upwards, especially when you note the insane growth in their e-commerce business. Sales in November were $600,000. So out of their $780,000 in sales in November, $600,000 of those sales actually happened on their e-commerce business. And this represents a $300,000 increase from their last month, and also a $550,000 increase from the year before, which means back in 2019, they were only making about $50,000 of sales in a month from their e-commerce business, which is a very little amount, but also represents just immaculate growth here. Now, of course, we do have to take into account Thanksgiving, which did represent $382,000 of their e-commerce sales, but again almost represents a 1,700% increase from their November sales from Thanksgiving in 2019. And now all this is great to see because again we can see just how much they're growing, especially in that e-commerce business, right? This is the way of the future. I mean, I've said it before, online sales are just going to increase so much in the next 10 years, and anyone who doesn't keep up with that trend is going to fall behind heavily. So it is great to see that Very Good Foods is sticking with this trend and keeping up with the new ways of doing business. Again, with their e-commerce and their online marketing, they've built a much better brand than they had a year ago. They've increased awareness of their product, and they have the increase in sales to show for it. So now they have this increased demand for their products, right? They have the brand awareness. So what's next is their new production facilities. So the company has 2 production facilities they are currently working on. One is in California and one is in Vancouver. Now we'll go through the California one first. First of all, it is going to be double the size of the one in Vancouver, but it's also not going to be done till a later date. They haven't actually announced when they are going to have the facility ready for production, but what they do say is that their first lease payment is in April 2021. So in my mind, I would expect them to start production somewhere in late 2021 to early 2022. And this is because the California facility is already built out as a food production facility. And so they have all the necessary infrastructure and everything else in order to start production much quicker than it would usually take. And this is the same for their Vancouver facility, but we'll go over that in a second. Now, the other reason that the California facility is going to be done later is because the company has announced that they will be focusing on their Vancouver facility for now. Partially, the reason is because of COVID-19, and California, as well as the rest of the US, has been hit much harder than Canada and Vancouver specifically. So they figured while the vaccine rolls out and before things get better, they will focus on their Vancouver facility instead. Now, again, the Vancouver facility is half the size of the California facility. However, they have said they will commence production in Q1 2021. So that is coming up here soon. Again, like I've already mentioned, their facility here in Vancouver is also already built out as a food production facility, and therefore not much will have to be done before they can start operations and production. The CEO, Mitchell Scott, says the timely availability of the Rupert facility presented us with a unique opportunity to address near-term demand while we work to operationalize our facility in California. So there's 2 interesting things to note about that. First of all, the Vancouver facility is like a stepping stone for them. Once it gets going and they are operational and they know things are working, they will move to the California facility, which is obviously much bigger, but keep production going in the Vancouver facility as well. The other and most interesting thing to note here, though, is that Mitchell Scott addresses the near-term demand concern, which means that they do have demand for their product, which is very important. You know, it's one thing to just be able to produce a lot of product. It is another thing to actually have the demand to be selling that product. There is no point in producing more product if you do not have the demand to back it up, which in this case is clear that they do. And this is why they're trying to build out that Vancouver facility and get it operational as soon as they can. With that being said, of course, it is obvious that they will have demand because of the insane growth that's going on in this industry as a whole right now, with more and more people starting to buy plant-based meat products. So again, the company is growing a lot. The market that they're in is growing a lot, and the industry as a whole is growing a lot. And because of all that, I do see them growing very heavily from here as a company, especially because they don't only focus on their own brand, although that is growing as well a lot, but they also focus on the wholesale operations, which again, as the industry grows, will also grow with it. So what am I doing now about it? Well, like I said, they are going to grow a lot into the future. So the near-term price doesn't worry me too much. I will be nibbling on some shares probably later today, as well as continue to if I see the price move down. I did not, unfortunately, have time to pick up any shares yesterday, so my portfolio remains unchanged as of yet. I do see the price continue to go up moving forward here because of all these things that I've just mentioned, and in obviously my other videos as well. And I do think it's unlikely that the price does drop below that $7 to $6.80 mark. All right, now I did want to quickly go over the chart with you guys here. These 2 trend lines I have not changed since the last video here. I have literally not touched them. So what's interesting to see, right? We were in this channel, and then what happened here is we hit the bottom of the trend line, right? And went through the bottom of the trend line, and then we started to see that bearish momentum come in, and we saw that price come down, right? And we can see from the MACD indicator here too, bearish momentum switched in right here, still pretty high volume being traded as well. And then from that, obviously the price comes down, right? And then here again, we see it pretty much bottom out, and now we're on the uptrend again. You know, again, we're up 8.3% today. And now I drew this third line here just now, and we can see we've pretty much hit the price floor here. If we come back to over here, back on December 1st, you know, we hit this target, came down a bit from this point at the 718 mark, but did not really drop below the 670 mark. And I don't think we're going to drop below that here as well. I do see it continuing up. What I really see here is some consolidation moving forward, and then probably another spike up past our previous highs here because, again, of their growth and their new production facility coming out soon in Q1 2021, right? And all these other things that are going to boost this price up moving forward. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video today. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and as always, leave me a comment because I love getting your comments. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.